Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Language Lab podcast video thing. Well, my name is Siad, and this is my language podcast video thing where I talk primarily about experiments going on in my language learning life. And today I wanted to share an experiment that I'm going to be doing for the month of February 2026. And this is really what I'll call an experiment in repetition. So I play the guitar, I am a performing musician, and one of the things that you do when you practice, I think many people probably know this, but I'll say it anyway. One of the things that you do when you practice is you repeat things. And it can be that you repeat the entirety of a piece. It can be a small, what we would call phrase or measure, or sometimes it's a page. Any kind of way that you can break something down to practice it is how I personally practice, especially when I'm preparing for a performance. And one thing that I have seen a lot of other people talk about is repetition. And I realize that it's something that I rarely do in language learning. So for instance, I will do an exercise, I will listen to a podcast, I will watch a movie once, that's it, move on to something else. But I realized that I think that there are times where I could be repeating things and I could really be benefiting from and reap some reward from repeating things. And so I wanted to do an experiment where across 3 particular languages, I'm doing a listening practice or listening repetition. And so how it's worked so far in the past 3 days and how I intend for it to work for the next 25 days is that each day I will listen to the same material in that language. And because I, like everyone who's watching this, have many, many things to do throughout the day that are not language learning related, I wanted whatever I chose to be short enough such that by the end of this, I could have memorized the whole thing, likely parts of it, but also so that I could do it every day. So it's really important for me that I pick something that I would want to listen to 28 times. And it's also something that I can do without fail, no matter what. And so initially I thought I was going to do this just in French, because with French, I feel like my pronunciation is not great. And that makes total sense because I never speak French with anyone because my French level isn't high enough for that yet. Enough for me to kind of like produce things that are not practiced. But also I just thought this would be fun with French. I realized that in January last month, I didn't get to French quite every day like I did with the other languages that I'm doing. And so I wanted to do this with French. So I picked some exercises that I'm going to be practicing my French pronunciation with. And I'll put the book where I got these exercises from. It's from the Progressive du Français book series, which I really, really love. It's the phonétique set. And so I don't have the physical copy, but I looked on the internet and I'll leave it at that. And so after picking, I think about 8 or so minutes worth of exercises that I will listen to, and then when I'm able to, I will listen to and read. I decided, why don't I try this with all of the things? So I, for Japanese, picked a short podcast episode of Japanese with Shun, and it's one of his Genki level 1 podcasts. So it's very, very beginner, but it is where I think I am and where I feel like I can get a lot of, again, the benefits of this experiment. So I actually picked 2, and I decided, which equals about 10 minutes. And I decided that at the very least every day I would do 1, and I'd probably do the one that's about daily routines. And then if I have 5 extra minutes, then I'll do the smartphone episode. And then for Spanish, because my understanding with Spanish is a little way higher than the other languages that I'm working on, that I picked a short like TED lesson or TED course. So many people have talked about the experiments they do, or not many people, but I've heard a couple people talk about, oh, I watch this TED talk every day for 100 days or something like that. And so it was kind of inspired by that idea. I think many people are familiar with Days and Words. I think that's what his channel is now, Lamont, where he watched Spider-Man movie. And I am not in the position to do something that long every day. I mean, I know he didn't do the entire movie like hours upon hours every day, but I thought that I could just get something really interesting out of these particular 2 TED course video lessons. So I picked 2. Again, because I can understand and produce Spanish at a higher level, my intention is to kind of swap them out. So I picked 2, one about Frida Kahlo and then one about Stoicism. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how that goes. But so far, it's been really interesting. And so, again, this is just my experiment, and I wanted to share this with you. I want to get more practice and repetition in with language learning, and that's kind of across the languages, but across the skills in the languages. And so right now I'm focusing on listening, and with French in particular, pronunciation, because I just want to improve that because I hope to travel somewhere where French is spoken this year. If not this year, then definitely next year. So that's the experiment. I might do some little video kind of like vlogs of myself throughout the month, actually doing the exercises, but this is me sort of sharing the experiment, how I've set it up. And then, of course, at the end of the month, I will come back and share about how I think it went. So, again, I will try to link or put as many of the things in the description that I can. And I will be back soon with the next episode of this language learning podcast video thing. So have a great day.